Hello, my name is Robert Pollock, and this is the weekly assignment number 15, the hot button issues. So, based on this assignment, we were supposed to find ideas or concepts that could possibly elicit a hostile or embarrassed response. For me, I focus more so on the hostile response, and hostile is very aggressive. I'd just say more agitated and annoyed response is what I usually give, but I can understand where it could become hostile. So, two things that I think, as I was making my list, came back to me as like topics for my kind of hostile response are changing things just because we were told we have to change or we should change. So, changing for not the good reason or the right reason, or changing things based on having very little uh, knowledge on why we're changing or very little reasoning behind it. An example that I can think of is, or something that was annoying to me that this would fit, is the Boy Scouts of America thing. So, recently the Boy Scouts of America changed to be Scouts of America, but so that they could allow women to join the BSA. So they kept the same letters, I believe, and then said, "Oh, but we're not Boy Scouts of America anymore. We're just the Scouts of America." But then we left the Girl Scouts as its own thing. So I think when it comes back to it, we that was really not well thought out. If we want to make Scouts of America, then there shouldn't be a separate thing for Girl Scouts of America or Boy Scouts of America. It should just be Scouts of America, and everybody joins, and everybody does the same thing, and everything's great. It shouldn't just be, oh, we have a Boy Scouts now that allows Girl Scouts, and we also have Girl Scouts. That's, in my opinion, dumb. So that would be definitely something that I know, uh, when I see it come up. That's something that I very uh, vigilantly go against and kind of question, like, we need to vet this, we need to go through this, we need to go to this down the list. Like, have we thought about this? Why? I very much am into knowing why, and not I know what because it's all laid out, but why are we doing this? Which comes off as sometimes being, or having an authority issue, or having not just accepting facts, which is another thing. I think one of the worst possible things that we could do in this world is to say, well, we're going to do this because it's always been done that way. So, going back to the change for change, if we just stay there because we think it's what we should be doing because that's what we've always done, also stupid. We need to make changes in the places that need to be made based on facts, and we need to know the reason that we are doing things in the profession and also in your own life. Why are we doing this? And if I don't have a good why, is there an easier way to do it? Is there something that I could be doing differently, or is there something I could be doing with my time that's more effective and more of an outreach for the community that I'm serving? So that kind of sums up my whole change to change, and then change to not to change because it's always been done the same way. Just go through the facts, go through your quality improvement, make quality improvement as needed and as seen, and can be viably explained to a vast majority of people. The other thing that I noticed in me writing this list was that the other thing that is really annoying to me slash can get me really going is people not being accountable for their own actions. So this isn't a problem necessarily when it's good things, because most people like to claim all the good things. Like, if I get this award, I'm definitely gonna let you know about it, type thing. It really comes down to, when you're getting the award, good. Like, thank you for your service, 100%. But when you're not getting the award and you're getting reprimanded or talked to or getting your ideas questioned or your ideals questioned, it it's a double-edged sword. You have to be accountable when you're winning and you're getting all this accolades, but you also have to be accountable when, hey, I screwed up. We're all human beings. It happens to everybody. Um, no one was made perfect. As much as people will believe that they are or claim that they are when they win the awards. Um, at the end of the day, you need to be accountable for both things. And when I see people, A, not being accountable for their own actions, blaming others for their own faults, um, it's very enraging. Especially, I've seen it sometimes in rehab, but more so in, um, more so in an educational setting. I know that I do well for myself in the educational setting, but I've also had fellow classmates or people that honestly I've never even had class with. They talk to me and go, "Well, you're that way because the teacher likes you." Yeah, no, I'm that way because I studied the last 4 hours of my life, or I study on a consistent basis. It's not because maybe the teacher likes me. Who knows? That's not why I'm here. I'm here to learn, and everything in life is about the little things. Do the little things right, and eventually the long-term goal will pay off, or people will help. In my opinion, will help people that they see putting in that effort and staying accountable for their actions, both good and bad. I think it's easy to be accountable for your actions when everything's going good because everybody likes praise, or the majority of people like praise. But at the same point, you have to be accountable when nobody else is giving you praise. It's about you correcting what you're doing. So, I guess off that, some of these strategies that um, I think I see um, these techniques or these things come up in both my average and everyday life. So one of the things that we need to talked about is how does it differ from a person that I know to a person that I don't know. And I truly believe that I hold my friends to a higher standard than most people, but I expect the same thing out pretty much out of everybody. Um, if you are accountable, just be accountable for your actions, regardless. Like it makes me even madder when it's one of my friends that's not accountable because we're supposed to be close and you're supposed to take ownership of this. Like this is not my thing. This is your thing. And also the change to change thing is like you need to just chill out and figure out what you're doing. Like figure it out. Like 100%. Like I know it gets difficult. I know it gets hard. Life is not easy by any means of the word. But at the same point, like those are the two things that I think that I live my life by and my tenets, I guess you could say. So for me, like those two things are pretty much all that I feel like I got. That well, all that I can take to each place that I go. So I really live my life by those. So I really expect that out of everybody. So going to the next thing, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory, and I've kind of explained it already, but really part of the reason I get this emotional reaction is just that I think that well, obviously I live my life by them, but I also think they're kind of two relatively simple things that, regardless of economic class, your background, your history, you can be able to do both of those things. And regardless of your educational level or whatnot, you should be able to, at the very least, assess the situation and based on the facts, and kind of remove yourself and say, okay, does this make sense? If it doesn't, okay, why are we doing it? If it does, cool, but why are we doing this and not something else that might make more sense? I think that's how growth happens. I think that's how growth happens in all settings, not just in education or in athletics slash athletic training. And then the other thing is that the accountability. It My whole mindset is definitely I want to grow and I want to be better. And I want people to grow with me and people to get better as much as I can help them and that they want to be. So the accountability aspect is how bad do you want to be better than what you are? Um, Again, very few things that we can control in life, and one of those things is being accountable for your actions and saying, you know what? No, I did this. I own everything that's going to come with it. It's scary the first couple times you do it, but actually it's probably scary all the times you do it because the majority of the time it's not a good thing when you're getting being accountable, but it makes you look at like a better person in the long term. So, um, I think basically, a lot of these questions I'm supposed to reflect on is there a case specific point where it might change? And I think, um, to the best of my knowledge, my mindset doesn't change that much, unless you present a very good point, or I can have a discussion with you and it's not a debate. I think one of the biggest things here is just I try and treat everybody as I hold myself to. So I hold myself to these same standards. I hold you to these standards. There's no double meaning or double standard. These are the basic rules that I live my life by, and that's what I'm gonna hold you to. And I don't think I'm asking the world of you, so it doesn't really change from place to place or setting to setting. Um, the vast majority of people, I feel like, definitely fit those two criteria, and I get along with the vast majority of people for that reason. There are some states that I don't agree with how they conduct themselves in those two tenets, and we've had problems, and we've definitely butted heads. At the end of the day, I still have to work with that person, and at the end of the day, as much as I may not agree with them, um, they're still a person and they still have valid issues and valid concerns, and I can't completely invalidate what they're doing based on me not agreeing with them. So it's one of those things. I'm okay agreeing to disagree. Um, will it change care and athletic in my athletic training practice? No, not really. I was gonna probably do the same thing regardless. Regardless based on the situation and what patients wanted. Um, so I I really try to detach my feelings for people or issues as much as possible and say, this is just how you believe this issue to be or how I believe this issue to be. And truthfully, there's no way to prove either one of us right or wrong unless it's very black and white. And the majority of the world is not black and white. It's a very gray, um, if this, then this, but not if this, but this, then that type situation. And you can get easily swept down in the logarithm of the whole thing. So I'd just say that I don't necessarily have any strategies to prevent this, but I also would say that I'm currently implementing them and just saying, like, it's your idea. Like, everybody has an opinion. Not everybody's right. I'm not saying I'm right by saying not everybody's right. I could be the one that's wrong on all of it. But at the same point, I have and the patient has valid concerns that they're trying to see fit. So pulling my feelings for certain issues away from that and just focusing on the task at hand is how I deal with the differences in people and their ideology. This was Robert Pollock, and this was the week 15 assignment. That is all.